तो गर्ल पूछती है छुरी है ना तेरे पास, आवाज शायद कम है। अच्छा ठीक है, तो ये है जिसमें आई एम श्योर यू विल एबल टू रिकाउंट इट, बिकॉज मेरे साथ कई बार होता है, व्हेनेवर एयरपोर्ट से घर जा रही हूँ एंड आई एम टेकिंग अ प्राइवेट कैब, यू मे नॉट फील वेरी सेफ inside using the private cab, but क्या करते हैं कई बार, I simply call up my mother and then जोर से बोलती हूँ कि आया मैं ये जगह पास कर रही हूँ, ड्राइवर लेकर जा रहा है मुझे ये जगह पे, ताकि just to tell the driver that I'm telling a third person who is aware of my location. So beware, I'm sure all of you also must have done. Okay, at some point in time on it, just to tell the other person by मैं strong हूँ, दिखाने के लिए कि सब बाकी लोगों को भी पता है मैं कहाँ पे जा रही हूँ, ठीक है? So this is inherently you're feeling unsafe, but you're secure कि ठीक है, I'm okay, kinds. Now, before we move further, let's understand. Sampath ma'am ने बताया था regarding women in policing. Okay, now tell you, all of you are women in police. How safe are you? Do you always feel very safe while working, while donning the uniform and walking around, and also while you're not donning the uniform when you're in your civis? Because women in India constitute around 10 point some percentage of the total workforce. We all are engaged in 24/7 duties, night patrolling, night duties, late night घर जाते हैं after completing your task. How safe are you while you're traveling? There must be a jagah, you may have to travel long distances. So think about it. We are not just talking about normal women, we are talking about safety of us too. All right? Second question, is policing the only solution to provide safety for a woman? Well, there was a study that was conducted in Karnataka, which said wherein 63 of the women said that they feel safe if there is a policeman or a woman on the roads. Okay, and this percentage is very high as compared to that of a well-lit road or having a CCTV cameras on a road. So having presence of a police person is okay, but policing, of course, is not the only solution. We eventually want to go ahead and to provide a safe environment, not just a secure environment, right? So these are questions to ponder. Are women safe on roads, public transport, malls, all the public places? Now, crime against women. This is the latest NCRB data of the 2020, which shows that, okay. Okay. इसमें वो कैटेगरीज गायब हो गए, द कैटेगरीज वैल्यूज इसमें ये है ऑन द ऑरेंज साइड, द लास्ट यहाँ पे इट इज द 38% के महिलाओं ने ये, I mean 38% of the crimes is the cruelty that has been committed by husband and relatives, and that is 38%, and 29% which is ऊपर यहाँ पे जो लाइट ऑरेंज में है, that is basically the assault that is committed on women to outrage her modesty. And the white one over here is kidnapping and abduction, and जो orange की ऊपर है, that is 9%, जिसकी arrow mark उस right में लिया गया है, that is rape. Rape is around, on raw figures, it is around 28,000, which is around 9.63%. Now that, in compared to the entire pie chart, may seem very little, but then actually it is coming to around 77 rapes a day. So research also shows that because of these crimes committed against women, there is a direct linkage between these crimes and their work participation. And work participation means you need to move out, you need to have access to these public places. Okay, so here what we see is women, because of the crimes against women, these crimes restrict a woman's freedom of movement. We do not want to go out and work. We do not want to go out. In the last session, there was one idea regarding work from home. Why work from home? Because it's convenient to be at home, but also because in a certain frame of mind, we do not want to go out also. It may also be a reason as to because there are a lot of crimes committed, a lot of violence, why do you want to expose yourself to? So violence against crime restricts a woman's freedom of movement, which further has an impact on the women's access to economic and social opportunities, and therefore adversely impacting the economic GDP of a country. There have been many surveys that has been conducted by many of the NGOs, which demonstrated that women face harassment not just in the night time or when the roads are not well lit, but also in the daytime, in public transport, buses, and in the roadside. Now, there are certain crimes जो हम सबको पता है, we talk about rape, we talk about abduction, kidnapping also, but there are subtle crimes which usually are not brought out in the public domain. For example, eve teasing. पब्लिक प्लेसेस में जब जाते हैं, ईव टीजिंग बहुत ही कॉमन है, बहुत ही सटल तरीके से दिस इज अ टाइप ऑफ हरासमेंट एंड इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर वुमेन टू एक्चुअली स्पीक अप टू से व्हाई इज द गर्ल बीइंग ईव टेस्ट, बिकॉज फिर वापस उंगली उठती है लड़की के ऊपर. सो वी डू नॉट टेल वे आर आई एम बीइंग ईव टेस्ट. सेकेंडली, lewd remarks on the roads, some nasty remarks that are being passed, touching, wolf whistling, singing Bollywood songs, double meaning songs when you're walking. All these are various forms of harassment that women face in public places. There was a research that was conducted in 2015 जहां पे उन्होंने various तरीके के harassment के बारे में बताया. One is the verbal harassment. 99% of the women have experienced some kind of verbal harassment, like comments. आप रास्ते में जा रहे हैं, there is a comment. बस में जा रहे हो, there is some comments. Whistling, singing Bollywood songs. 91% of the women have said that there has been some kind of physical harassment, like touching, feeling, some kind of a sexual attack. And 97% felt there was some kind of visual harassment, like, आप घूर के देखते जा रहे हो, कोई ना कोई घूर के देख रहा है. So this is visual harassment. Somebody is leering at you, somebody is staring at you continuously. And 67% of the women said they have been stalked. Yani somebody has been following you continuously in spite of you repeatedly telling the person that you're not interested. But he's been following you continuously and trying to contact you through phones or through any other way. So this is called stalking. So these are subtle crimes which are not easily talked about in public domain. In India, in every 51 minutes, women face harassment in public places. 95% of the women face harassment on the roadsides. 53% face harassment in the marketplace. And 86% महिलाएं, they face public they face harassment in public places while using the public transport. And 67% while they're waiting for the buses to arrive, or in the bus stands, or waiting for the cab to arrive. So this is the enormity of the crimes that women in India face. But the reason as to why these public places are unsafe, बहुत सारे studies हुए हैं जिसमें बहुत सारे कारण बताए गए हैं. One is the local transport. As to, these are the places where it is unsafe. The local transport is unsafe. Streets, bus stands, autos, taxi stands, cinema halls, marketplaces or bazaars, parks, shopping malls, and other places. Other places means other places like schools, colleges, which are not strictly coming under the public domain. So why are these places unsafe? Because mahilayon ko ek feeling, there is a feeling when you're accessing that particular public space, you're entering a particular bus, you have a sense of feeling that you don't belong here. You feel a sense of fear and insecurity. Therefore, you consider a particular place to be unsafe. Now, if you look at the reasons why certain places are considered unsafe, one, because street lights nahi hai. Aap raaste mein ja rahe hain and there are no street lights on the road, because of which you feel the place is unsafe. Secondly, dark lanes and alleys, potholed roads and pavements. Pavements nahi hai, ya wahan pe roads proper nahi hai, therefore it is dangerous to walk on such roads. Because there is a garbage, debris or dumps that are there. Debris, there is a garbage dumps hai, so that also leads to very nasty things that may happen. Somebody must be hiding behind it. Lack of visible policing nahi hai, policemen or women are not visible on the roads. Places where somebody could be hiding, agar aisi jagah hai, bushes वगैरह hai, then you feel unsafe to walk in that area. When there are entrapment areas jahan pe do jagah ke beech hai jahan pe there is no exit, so वैसे areas hai jahan pe you feel very suffocated. Then harassment from peddlers, roadside peddlers harass karte hain, so then you feel unsafe. Drunken men is one of the reasons as to why you feel unsafe. Lack of clean, safe public toilets, because public toilets mein kai baar there have been incidents of rape, there have been incidents of sexual attack. And also, a reason as to why a place is unsafe is that there are very few people, especially women, and there are lack of signages. You're walking or you're taking a road transportation, and there is no signages, aap kis side direction mein jana hai, and you enter into a detour, probably to an unknown area. So because of which you feel unsafe. Now, in spite of these places being unsafe, why do we still take on the public transport? Because metro pe jana ya buses mein jana is much more cheaper than going on in your some other this thing. Therefore, affordability is an issue. क्यों हम buses में जाते हैं? And coverage है. I mean, आपकी इधर से आप 1 घंटे की दूरी जाना है और multiple आपको पर्सनल व्हीकल छोड़कर कहीं और जाना है, better to take one public transportation there. Frequency is much better, safety is an issue, comfort, therefore you use public transport. In fact, 9% of the Indian women feel that they feel safe in public transport. However, 80% women have said that they feel safer in the daytime than in the night time. But however, in this public transport, there are certain issues. Even though you take a bus or a metro, वो लास्ट माइल कनेक्टिविटी जो है घर तक पहुंचने के लिए वो 10 मिनट का रास्ता जो है, इट इज स्टिल डेंजरस इफ इट इज नॉट वेल लिट. इफ देयर आर सम लर्किंग people who are simply standing there and whiling away time, then it's still a dangerous thing. And waiting period, if it is at least 15 minutes or so, you start fearing a sense of कि बस आ रही है नहीं आ रही है, and if nobody is standing there, you feel a lurking fear. And some issues that the women have highlighted is that there's a need for a dedicated footpath, and road lighting should be there for women to have protection in public places. Okay, ये आप सुन लीजिएगा. मैं मेट्रो स्टेशन पे खड़ी हूँ. और जाना किधर है? मुझे उन्हीं से पार्टी जाना है. मैडम एक काम करो, रोड की तरफ आ जाओ, मैं 5 मिनट में आ रहा हूँ. ठीक है मैडम. भैया मेरी कैब की बुकिंग है. ओके मैडम. अच्छा आपने पेमेंट तो नहीं की? नहीं. एक काम करो, आप कैंसिल करो, मैं आपको 150 रुपये कम में ले जाऊंगा. वो हमें कमीशन देना अपना, हमारा वो बच जाएगा और रास्ते से सिंह में मुझे पैसे मिल जाएगा. और कैंसिलेशन चार्ज लगेगा? नहीं मैडम, तो कैंसिलेशन के रीजन आते हैं ना, उसको आप अदर से क्लिक कर देना, वो नहीं लगेगा. चिंता मत करो, नहीं लगेगा. ठीक है. चलो भैया. जी मैडम. अभी डॉक्टर ने किया. इसी रास्ते में पड़ेगा, तो वहां से सीएनजी डलवा के छोड़ दूंगा. अभी ठीक है. ठीक है. क्या वो डायरेक्टली चलाना चाहिए? या मैं दोबारा चलाती हूँ बिकॉज ये एम्बेडेड वीडियो काम नहीं कर रहा है. आई हाँ जी मैडम, आपने क्या बुक की थी? हाँ जी भैया. कहाँ? मैं मेट्रो स्टेशन पे खड़ी हूँ. और जाना किधर है? मुझे उन्हीं से पार्टी जाना है. मैडम एक काम करो, रोड की तरफ आ जाओ, मैं 5 मिनट में आ रहा हूँ. ठीक है मैडम. भैया मेरी कैब की बुकिंग है. ओके मैडम. अच्छा आपने पेमेंट तो नहीं की? नहीं. एक काम करो, आप कैंसिल करो, मैं आपको 150 रुपये कम में ले जाऊंगा. वो हमें कमीशन देना अपना, हमारा वो बच जाएगा और रास्ते से सिंह में मुझे पैसे मिल जाएगा. और कैंसिलेशन चार्ज लगेगा? नहीं मैडम, तो कैंसिलेशन के रीजन आते हैं ना, उसको आप अदर पे क्लिक कर देना, वो नहीं लगेगा. चिंता मत करो, नहीं लगेगा. ठीक है. चलो भैया. जी मैडम.
कोई शॉर्टकट है मैडम, और सीएनजी पंप भी इसी रास्ते में पड़ेगा, तो वहां से सीएनजी डलवा के छोड़ दूंगा आपको। ठीक है। क्या हो गया? गाड़ी क्यों रुकी? मैम लगता है इसमें कुछ दिक्कत आ गई है, कैसे तो आप चलो आगे। क्या बोल रहे हैं? बोला ना आगे निकलते हैं पेट में घुसे हुए। ये याद है कि कौन से जगह पे ना ये निकल गया जब मुझे निकाल कहाँ पे चली गई तभी क्या सीखा तभी का कैलकुलेटर में भरे मासी तो देखें मेरे साथ सामान ले लिया भाई अब मासी को लेकर जाओ हमने पुलिस को बुलाई है देख लो ठीक है चलो मासी
So what did we see in this? So this incidents can happen to any one of us, even whether in the police or not in the police, or outside also to any of our family and friends. So it is very important to use, इसमें जहाँ पे बताया गया है, to use the 36 degrees, live location, to be always, there are a lot of gadgets available nowadays, जो आगे की presentation में बताती हूँ, which is like bracelet जैसा ही एक safelet है. So all these things can also be used to just to ensure the security for women. Okay, some of the preventive measures. These are the preventive measures that have been talked about by the Verma committee report after the Nirbhaya incident. One, the strict complaints to avoid black films on the taxis, on four-wheelers, to improve presence of police and security on the roads. Second, thirdly, to verify the identity of drivers or personnel who are in a public transportation, who are employed there. They need to verify themselves and wear identity tags. To display bus or personal information within the bus. So whatever is the information, personal information, whoever is the driver, conductor, un sabki information should be there inside the bus. CCTV cameras, tamper-proof GPS system. Tamper-proof GPS system is a must because if there is any detour that is being taken by a taxi driver or by a public transport vehicle, so this thing can be monitored, so it can be reported regarding any kind of route deviations. Okay. Now, we also noticed that the perceptions, हमारे लिए for women, what are important, what issues mean safety and security are not non-issues for men. Okay. Because of the mere perceptions that vary between men and women regarding certain issues. For example, when you go out, you think about what kind of dress that I'm wearing, right? How is it, whether it is sheared layer, how is it, you think about it twice before going out. Or when if you're working pretty late in the night, you have to call up your family and inform them कि मैं late हो रहा हूँ आज, I will not be able to come, I'll be a little late. You call up. It's a mental thing that you call up your parents or call up your family and tell them that I'm going to be late. But these are not priority areas for men. Okay, you just look at this video as to how men and women view safety.
Boys எங்க பிரச்சனை கிடையாது, சொசைட்டில பெருசா எதுவும் கிடையாது. கேர்ள்ஸ் நிறைய இருக்கும்.
Back.
Boys எங்க பிரச்சனை கிடையாது, சொசைட்டில பெருசா எதுவும் கிடையாது. கேர்ள்ஸ் நிறைய இருக்கும்.
When I drive, my wife, everyone keeps seeing us, staring us, so it makes us uncomfortable. So I make sure that I wear a proper dress.
Thing is, usually girls don't dress up for others, they dress for themselves, but we are in a society where we cannot dress for someone, even we are not, we cannot dress for others. Today, wearing a cold shoulder top. I've seen men who are decent, but when they come closer, their eyes are not right. So, what I try to do is to talk in a very friendly manner. They will understand that I'm trying to avoid when you come to your workplace. You have to be a little obvious about what you're wearing, wear a sheer layer clothes. Not be backward, but at least to avoid people staring at.
There will be people who stare no matter what you're wearing, and it's like you don't get a good vibe from people, but it's like if you're walking on the road and stuff, there's always going to be that one friend who's going to look at you that way, but you can't help it.
Whenever I get my cab, I just keep my mom posted that I just got in the cab and it will take this time to reach home. So that I have to location with my parents. So that they can track me where I am.
I avoid taking cabs after 10 in the night.
This is use public transport to go to work because I'm dressed appropriately, but if I'm going parking somewhere and I'm wearing like a dress or a skirt or something, yeah, I'll take an Uber or
I obviously avoid public transport in Delhi. It gets sleepy at times. And I don't step out at nights after 10. It's a restriction until and unless I'm with my friends or with my family.
mobility. Dependence on mobility should be there to fashion you. That I would independently want to travel, go anywhere I want. Carrying a pepper spray or a knife or any other weapon to self-defense is again they are men are very strong compared to women.
A guy is following you, you can just stand up and slap him. Why it is not possible? Tell me one reason. Woman is weaker in physical power than men, but mentally not.
It's just that it's better to walk away from them instead of fighting or,
When I am around and if there is a girl there, I make sure that nothing goes wrong. Yes, what I've done, on a public level, obviously nothing.
I make sure my phone is charged first of all. Because my parents will be reaching out to me all the time.
To keep them informed, to make sure that you don't get phone calls from them asking what happens. Yes. Yes, யாருமே அந்த பத்தியோட பண்றது வீட்ல இருக்க பக்கத்து வீட்ல பண்றாங்க. And mostly many issues are linked to parents. Again, the answers to all that would be no, because these are most of the things that a woman has to think about.
I have a brother at home. Yes, at times when he walks out at 10 or 11 or doesn't matter when he comes late at home, because I have to be answerable to people at home.
It is annoying because we cannot wear whatever dress we need, but at the same time it's a safety. But we always used to think that at least calling for another necessity to dress code now.
By at times, you are not assured of your safety, though it is a big city or a small city, wherever you are.
It is very common area that males don't get as much restricted as females do.
Okay, so this is one we have, I mean, these are the common public spaces and the perceptions that we know about safety in these areas. My echo arena that I wanted to briefly touch upon is the cyberspace. Cyberspace is a public space, okay? The only difference between a physical public space and a cyberspace is the anonymity of the persons with whom you interact. So I just wanted to take this opportunity because this issue is also closer to my heart regarding cybersecurity for women. So I just wanted to give you little glimpses about what measures you need to take when you are accessing the cyberspace. One, always check the authenticity of the person before you accept a friend request. In your Facebook or anywhere, please don't accept unknown persons whom you do not know. Never give out your correct or accurate details like your name, address, phone number, email ID to strangers through online in order to prevent any kind of identity theft. We have a lot of, based on experience, we have a lot of cases where your profile pics are being stolen by people to create their own identity and further carry out anti-national activities. So please be beware of what kind of posts that you want to be shown to the public or what kind of pictures that you want to reveal to the public. Second, always share your trip to your family, friends, and emergency contact numbers while traveling alone in the cabs. Never respond to unknown person's communication or conversation or an email on the internet. While you're downloading an email, never download an email that you receive as an attachment from strangers. It could be carrying a malware, it could be any kind of phishing activity. Keep an eye on children when they use the internet and monitor their online activities regularly at home. And if you ever happen to be a victim of identity theft, that means your profile pic or your identity details have been stolen to be used by some culprit, then immediately report it to the concerned authorities because it is under your identity that an activity or a crime is being committed. Always log or lock out your computer while leaving. So when you're not using your computer, please log out. And there's also one more tip that I want to add. Whenever you are operating on your laptop, there is a camera, inbuilt camera, right? Always try closing the camera. If you do not have, there are small stickers आते हैं, वो आप चिपका दीजिएगा कैमरे के ऊपर, because if your computer is on, or even if it is not, there's a power supply, persons can easily hack onto your computer and see what is happening right in front of the computer, which has happened many a times. So try, if you do not have a sticker, at least close it with a normal, जो भी sticker, just बिंदी लगा दो, कुछ भी कर दो, close your camera if it is not required for you to use unless you're on a Skype call or a face-to-face call, all right? Because many a time such kind of crimes have taken place. Now, some of the few suggestions. Now, suggestions have made it into three parts. This is the end of the almost the end of the presentation. At the socio-cultural context, what do you want? What changes do you want to provide safety in public places? When I firmly believe the change begins from home. It is at home that stereotypes are cherished, they're nurtured. At home, it is we who tell our children that, if it's a girl child, we'll tell them, sir, jukke chalo, don't have to look here and there, and walk on the roads. But if it is a boy, you say, why are you looking down and walking? Put your head held high, keep your head high and walk. And if there is any fight, you always tell the girl, yaar, bhai hai, kyun jagda karna chahte, you adjust. You always train your girl to adjust to situation, to adjust to circumstances, and you never tell them when to say that enough is enough. Yeah, but for the boys, you said you can't tolerate, if there's any intolerance, don't just tolerate. So that is how we provide such kind of stereotypings at home. Educational institutions. Now, educational institutions is the place where schools and colleges should respect and provide, they should address issues of respecting, providing dignity to women. If there is any lewd remarks being passed in the schools, that has to be taken very sternly. I mean, such things should never be hushed up in schools and colleges. For women, it is very important to know your laws. For both men and women, what kind of laws are applicable if there is a sexual attack on a woman, on what crime that you have or he has committed. So know your laws, know what are your rights in the legal system. Institutional changes. Now, institutional changes is a big term. You want changes in the institutions. For example, you want for example, in the last session, we talked about what kind of infrastructural changes or what kind of, vision statements, changes that you want in your own police organization. So these are changes which should be more women-centric. So these changes should be initiated at the institutional level. Collaborative efforts. In fact, I'm right now posted in Hyderabad while I'm taking care of the South Indian states. In the state of Telangana, a lot of initiatives have been taken for women. There are new apps that have been done, the SOS button on the Hawkeye. So both such initiatives are being taken. She teams are being done. There's a Himmat Plus app in Delhi. Anti-Romeo squads are also there. So you should always know what kind of activities are being taken at the state level, at the local level, and at the national level. So there is collaboration of all these efforts instead of wastage of, time and again you're reinventing the same wheel. Role of media. Well, media plays a very, very important role. Okay, it is media through our Bollywood songs or through the movies, through songs, movies, through whatever is being visually shown to us and that we hear. Sexual harassment is being promoted many a times because unconsciously certain messages are being seeped into our mind, which we take it as very, very normal. मैं आपको एक few years ago there was this movie of Shahid Kapoor and Sonakshi, Rajkumar Romeo. कई लोगों ने देखा होगा. There was a very popular number, in that movie. बीड़ी पीकर नुक्कड़ पे wait किया रे. You right? All of you have heard about the song. Okay, while I was watching these some comedy show. तो उसमें there was a satire, a critic on this song, which I thought is very, very apt to show how Bollywood songs very unconsciously seep in hidden messages, which we consider as very, very normal. You can have a look at it.
कितना सीधा सच्चा लड़का सीधे सीधे बोल रहा है तो लक्ष्य नहीं माना हमने वेट करूंगा और हमने
क्या किया? We made it a very popular number. Okay. So this is how Bollywood plays a very vital role, or any media plays a very vital role in unconsciously seeping in hidden messages, which we consider as normal in our society. Now, what can be done about it? One, we need to be very alert of our surroundings. We need to fight back. We can't just take anything for granted because it is being done in a very subtle manner. We deserve to be safe. And we should also train our children to know when, to which extent, to what limit can anyone adjust with circumstances. We always train our girl children to adjust to circumstances. We should tell them there is a limit to adjusting to. There's a limit when you say enough is enough and then you fight back. We need to train ourselves, train our staff, train everyone with self-defense techniques. At the individual level, for us as police women, or any women, we need to be aware of our personal safety. Wherever we are, we need to be aware who are the people with whom we are interacting. We need to be aware of yourself, aware of your surroundings. If there is nothing, if you're in a very situation where nothing can happen, just escape. It is better to escape than fight back or whatever. Just escape. If you think that you cannot fight back, you don't know what is the surprise element going to be, just escape from the situation. Avoid carjacking. Now, carjacking is, you're waiting in a road inside your vehicle and the door is not locked. So there's very, very ample chances that a perpetrator can easily get into the front seat and drag you out or get into the passenger seat. So whenever you are alone and you're at interjections, just lock your doors and put your windows up. Now, while you're traveling, it is very important that, do not open the door when when a stranger knocks at your door in the hotels or in other places where you're just going for a temporary period. Always use your gut feeling. Women have an excellent gut feeling which you need to take advantage of. If you feel that you're not safe here, go away from there. You don't have to experience it just to prove a point. Okay? Just follow your gut feeling. You all have a right to fight. In our laws, you're also protected by the right to private defense. If nothing else, you fight. Let's see what happens. You have the umbrella of the right to private defense. Use many things that you can have. Sometimes pepper spray or anything. Aajkal batate hain, whatever. Keep something with you so that you're just at least that surprise element. You just put it on the face and you run away. You can always use many of the mobile-based apps that have been prepared by the governments also. For example, the Hawkeye of Telangana Police or the Himmat Plus of the Delhi Police. Please use them. There's an SOS button. There is also live tracking. So your family and friends are aware as to where you are all located so that you feel a sense of security while you're accessing the public spaces. Take charge of yourself. So, to your family and friends, whenever there's a suspicion, immediately call the police. Hold on to your mobile or purse close to your body whenever you're attacked. Avoid taking or giving lifts to people whom you do not know. Always check for a child leg. Yeah, this is very important. Whenever you're getting into a cab, Uber or Ola, kahi pe bhi, please always when you enter, there is a child lock. Please check that the child lock is off. Child lock on hai, then you cannot open the door from inside. So अगर किसी ने देखा है तो well and good. If you have not seen it, please आज ही जाकर आप देख लीजिए. Child lock should always be off whenever you're entering into a private vehicle which you are not sure of. Now, for women in policing. Now, women in policing, the only way for you all to be feeling safe and secure is to network. Today, while you're all assembled here, you spoke about your problems in the first session. You're able to do so because there are women here. There is a woman boss sitting here, woman has been talking to you. So always network with among yourself. This opportunity may come once in year or so, but even wherever you're posted, in your police station or in districts, network. Network is the biggest advantage that women have. If you're able to share your experiences, whether it's good, bad, ugly, share it with your colleagues. Halka ho jata hai, make your work experience fun. You don't have to be very serious. You don't have to be burdened with the work that you have. Share your experiences, laugh it out. If you have a bad boss, laugh it out. आपके colleagues से बोलो कि यार मेरा boss ऐसा है, just हल्का करो, do your work. But please network. That is the only advantage that you have in a minuscule number like ours. Be vocal. Whenever there is any incident, be vocal. Try it out, tell it to your boss, tell it to your SP, just wherever forums, please tell them what has happened to you. Train yourself and your staff on self-defense to give that kind of to have an attitudinal change. Now, as a woman, whoever is, wherever you're all women in the police, wherever you are located, wherever your posting is, please look out for those vulnerable zones. Vulnerable zones, jahan pe when you're walking in that area and you feel that this is a vulnerable zone where women can be eve teased or women can be stalked, you first identify the zone for yourself. And please ensure there's a lot of patrolling there. So you have to take that responsibility that I want to provide a safe and secure environment for the women in my locality. It is only when you take it as a personal and professional mission, it is not possible for other gender to understand what you want. So it should be your mission to ensure safety and security in your arena. And always be accessible. Accessible is very important for us as women. Okay, because we just constitute minuscule of 10 point some percentage in the entire workforce. And you are the initial 10-11% of women in the police force, and you will be a role models for the next generations who are entering the police force. But so if you are not accessible, then how will other women want to come to this organization? So you need to be very accessible to everyone, especially to women, to communicate their problems with you. Initiatives. Well, Government of India has taken a lot of initiatives. In 2018, Women's Safety Division was constituted in order to collaborate the efforts both at the state level as well as the national level. There was an emergency response support system that was a project that was initiated, wherein a common all India number was provided, that is 112, which is a national emergency number. Koi bhi distress mein ho, so you can always dial 112 across India. And उन्होंने already MHA ने 8 cities may, as part of phase 1, have started the safe city projects, wherein the safety of women is also a major issue in the safe city projects. A lot of initiatives have been taken by the states. I told you, development of apps, lot of other initiatives. There should be a proper aligning of these measures that have been taken by the state and as well as at the national level, which is important. So the final word, what is important for us is to provide a safe environment for women. Beach mein security ki purpose se, we provide CCTV cameras, police women on the road, many things. But the ultimate goal is to have a safe environment, safe working place, safe environment, safe public places for women to access. The process is to provide security, but the end result should be having that feeling of bindas, that I don't have to care whether there's CCTV cameras, whether there's anybody there or not. That kind of feeling we must actually aim for. So initially I started with the मैंने एक होम के बारे में बताया, एक वीडियो बताया जहाँ पे एक लड़की पैदा होती है तो क्या होती है मानसिकता नॉर्मल इंडियन फैमिलीज में, और क्या होता है for if a boy is born. Because for me, home is where stereotyping is generated, or it is shackled. So I just want to end my presentation with a video of how perceptions change at home. And with this, I would like to end.
जी वो पापा वो ना कुछ फ्रेंड्स बुला रहे थे इस समय तो मैं जाऊं?
तो पापा कोई ना मैं आपको ये दूंगा ठीक है मेरे जूते नहीं है किसे
ये कोई टाइम है बाहर जाने का? इतनी रात पता नहीं बाहर जाके रात को क्या कर जाए।
क्या हुआ?
इनसे पूछ लो क्या हुआ। चलो घर का जवान बेटा कहीं बाहर जाके किसी लड़की को छेड़ दिया तो कहीं कुछ कराया तो कौन देगा तुझे लड़की है? बता। जाते जाते इसको छोड़ देना।
Okay. So that is all about safety and security in the public places. Any questions? Well, I don't want to stand between you and lunch now. Haji. True.
In addition, maybe practice for physical training to make ourselves strength, as well as we should be self-dependent, not to depend on others.
Very true said. We need to be dependent on ourselves. We need to rely on ourselves and our feelings, gut feelings. That is true. That is perfectly taken. That is only to aid gadgets, be it आप जो भी app use कर रहे हैं, anything that you want to आप live location parents को दे रहे हैं, that is only to help you to give that sense of feeling of security.
Yeah, that
It
is
may
very
not help you immediately. Even in that video that you see, by the time that girl put the spray, it was her common sense to use the spray.
Yeah.
And by then the brother or somebody came from the family members to protect her. But initially it is what you do.
Yeah, but
That is always there.
in that time, if we are self-dependent and we are having strength and self-confident, feel safety in inner self. So every year or sometime we should be keep on training for physical strength,
Self-defense techniques, yes, you need to train yourself physically, you need to equip yourself as to how to defend in case there is a predator.
Yeah,
Perfect,
sure,
yes,
sure.
that's true. Well taken,
Because
yes.
initially we are doing training and
Yeah.
everything. After that we forget.
We
what is
forget.
our physical strength.
Sahi
What
keh
is
rahe ho.
our
That's true.
Thank you.
That's true, yeah. Anything else? Any suggestions to add on? Sir, I think everybody is now busy wanting to have lunch. Any experience that you want to share? And how you handle the situation in a public space?
I thank you, ma'am, for such an enlightening session. Ma'am has highlighted the issues related to women's safety in public places. She also very effectively highlighted that what are the issues, what is required to be done, and what changes in mindsets are also required. So it was a very, very enlightening kind of a session, very thought-provoking. Thank you so much for holding such a wonderful session. Now I request Worthy Director NPM, Shri Tajendra Singh Luthaji, to please come to dais and present a memento to ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am, once again. So now we are breaking for lunch, and I request all of you to have lunch at second floor. We'll again assemble for the final session at 10 minutes to 3, so that we are not late for the final session of the day. So please have your lunch, and we meet again. Thank you. One more announcement I have. We have found this wallet, किसका है ये? We have an iCard also in this. I just opened it. PSI अर्चना मीना, और तुम्हें पता ही नहीं है, तुमने वैलेट घुमा दिया हुआ है, हाँ? You are fortunately यहाँ पर
Also,